I'm proud of you. I'm just super excited that you get to be able to have this and we get to have this conversation together. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself a little bit, Kevin, and then let you go ahead and do what you do, my man.
Like you said, I'm Kevin Owes, student athlete here at the Florida State University. Mainly, I'm from Hollywood, Florida, small town down south. Just like everybody else, we here to figure out what the man with the plan got going on. Definitely, I got a couple papers, so y'all bear with me a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna read a little bit about Da Vinci here. Actor Da Vinci can be seen co-leading the cast in the Star series BML from executive producer 50 Cent Jackson. Yeah, you did your thing. Da Vinci plays the lead role of the infamous Terry Flannery. The show is inspired by the true story of two brothers who rose from the decaying streets of southwest Detroit in the late 1980s and gave birth to one of the most influential crime families in the country. In addition to the show, Da Vinci made his Broadway debut in October of 2021 as one of the ensemble leads in The Thoughts of Colored Man. A first-generation Haitian American born and raised in Brooklyn, Da Vinci is an actor whose unique personality and raw talent has created a considerable amount of buzz in Hollywood in just 3 short years. In that time period, he first booked Marvel's Jessica Jones and then joined the cast of Grownish, a freeform spin-off of the hit series Blackish. He then went on to appear on Fox Lethal Weapon, Amazon's The Boys, and can be seen in a heavily recurring role in the hit series All American. Following his television success, Da Vinci caught the attention of acclaimed director Gavin O'Connor, who cast him in the Warner Bros. Feature The Way Back, starring Ben Affleck. In his spare time, Da Vinci is an all-around sports enthusiast. He loves playing basketball, baseball, football, hiking, golfing, and during the height of the pandemic, he learned how to play tennis. He also loves to create music and is an avid player of the piano and guitar. Additionally, Da Vinci is an outspoken advocate for mental health and is passionate about fostering conversations around mental health awareness by shedding light on resources, organizations, and platforms within both his personal and circle. His greater fan base. Da Vinci has successfully used his rising platform over the last 2 years to help shed a light on mental illness in the Black and brown communities. He started his mental health awareness college tour and has drawn thousands to hear and speak on the topic of the current mental health crisis that is overtaking our youth in America. He has recently teamed up with such organizations as McDonald's, American Family Insurance, Capital One, and our nation's top doctor, the U.S. Surgeon General, to help shed light on this matter of national security in our country. With the rising suicide rates of young adults and more young people being diagnosed with depression, loneliness, and isolation, the Haitian-born actor Abraham DeJuice. Is that right?
Just.
Found it to be his calling to speak about his own battles with the disease and to let people know they are not alone in their struggle. They should not be afraid or ashamed to ask for help. Obviously, this is a category of something that's very personal to me. And I assume a lot of people in this room. I said, before I get a flow to him.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me here. Quick question, where's Sarah?
Sarah is probably in her hotel, but then she'll be on the stage with you. And
Oh,
we're
okay,
not
copy.
So this is very informal. So
Okay.
we're just gonna talk and we can open up to questions if you want us to.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, it's a privilege to be here and be at a university of this magnitude, just talking to, these amazing students. I mean, we're not that far apart from age and life experiences, so it's great talking to my peers. I'm huge on the whole mental health conversation due to the fact that I think there is a lot of taboo, it's like some taboos about it, and people have the wrong notion of mental health. I think the way it's educated to us, the way it's told to us, it's just like the way school is taught. It's not taught in a way oftentimes to make it very practical. You know, like for instance, like for example, history in class. Like I remember being in school learning history. I was annoyed by it because one, it wasn't even taught in chronological order. So it's like you can't go up to this date, 1804, then you go all the way to 10,000 BC, then you go here. It's like you don't even want to follow that. But if they start telling history from a perspective of, all right, after African Americans were one of the most successful human beings of the human trafficking, and when you came to this country, they did this, and you guys built all of this, da 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 da. While you guys were building this company was made, this company made, this company made, like in order, and you're like, wait, so this all happened, and then you can understand what was going on, like in the 60s, and understand like all the segregation laws and blah 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 and all that stuff. What I'm basically trying to say, if it's taught in a way to make us use it to our advantage, we would understand it a lot more, right? So when I started diving into mental health, it's no different from, like when people say like, oh, you have mental health, I'm like, it sounds obnoxious to me because it's like, oh, you have physical health. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, everyone has physical health, but it's like mental health doesn't mean that your mentality is in a bad state or a good state. It's just the health of your mindset, right? But when I started really breaking it down, it's like, sure, this society is not taught for you to have a balanced state of mind. Just like this society is taught for you to not be in the best physical shape, right? You don't have to, like back then, people never had to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? You only go to the gym now because you're not physically moving as much as we used to move. So now we have to have gyms. Now we have to have Weight Watchers program, and we have to have things like that. So our mentality, due to this current society, isn't conducive to a healthy mindset. So we're all going through some type of instability there, right? So for instance, so you take social media, and anything that you're doing at any given moment, you're literally modifying your brain to become better at it. So what that means is like when you're constantly watching, videos and images that have nothing to do with the next. So you can see a picture of one of your favorite artists, then you see a picture of two dogs fighting, and you see a girl doing some crazy thing, and then you see one of those, I don't know, haul videos, then you see two guys fighting, then you see a basketball highlight, whatever. You're training your brain only focus for a couple seconds and go get the next thing, right? So you're creating ADHD. So it's not that your brain was born that way, it's like your brain is like, yo, my man does not want to listen for longer than 6 seconds, so let's give him that. And so the little committee up there is like, yo, everybody, let's make sure we're just better at only focusing for a short period of time. And that's gonna fail you because in life, in order to do anything, any great type of achievement in life, or anything that's just memorable, it's like you need to have patience. You need to know how to plan methodically. So in this instant gratification day and age that we're living in, everything is microwave, everything is this, everything is that, it's like, you're not training your brain to be fit for survival. Life is hard. Life is more about loss than it is gain. As you get older, you're gonna lose your hair, you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna lose family, you're gonna lose loved ones, and eventually you're gonna lose your life. You know what I'm saying? There's a realness about life that is not being taught to us at all. And it's when life starts hitting us, it's like, no wonder why the suicide rates are so high. No wonder why the depression rates are so high. We're not fit. It's almost like you play football, you're in great shape. But if I took someone that's never practiced, did anything you ever done, and put him on that field, he's gonna die. His big ass is gonna die. Like he's not built for that. And mentally, we're not built to deal with nothing. We don't know how to solve problems. We don't know. So it's like, a lot of us are suffering from different type of problems in the mind because your brain is just like, wait, I can't even compute what you're trying to tell me because all we do is just go on social media and watch TikTok all day. Now you want to be rich, and now we got to really plan and think like, boom, what are you doing to me? You know what I'm saying? So what I started doing at 17, 18, I started meditating. I started reading books. I read this thing once that said that you want to hire yourself a black man, put it in a book. And it was really sad, but it's only because slavery, we weren't taught how to read. Because the slave master it was actually illegal for the slave master to teach a slave how to read. Because they knew that if you teach us how to read, pretty soon we're gonna be at the table asking, yo, this shit ain't right. This is not right. We should not be like this. We should not be like that. And they're like, no, don't teach me how to read. But now that we know how to read, but we're misinformed. So now we're reading garbage. You know, they're like, oh yeah, make them read. But now they're just reading garbage. So I stripped my life from like all the frivolous things, social media, all the pointless things. I deleted all that stuff. Started meditating, I started reading, I started working out, and I was just like, I need to fight my own war that's in my mind. And when you're meditating, all you gotta do is go on YouTube, type in 5-minute meditation, 10-minute guided meditation. As you're doing that, what that does, that quiets down the amygdala, that limbic system, the animal brain in your brain, and it increases your neocortex, your prefrontal cortex. Like it starts working on that. What makes you different from an animal? The reason why an animal can't rationalize is because their neocortex is so limited, and some animals don't even have a neocortex, like reptiles. Reptiles, they eat their babies. So the baby literally, after the egg hatch, they have to hide, otherwise the reptile, the mother's gonna eat them. But because they don't even have a neocortex at all. But we do, but some of us don't even exercise it to the point that we might as well be reptiles. We're just doing like just crazy things, but it's not our fault, we're just not taught that. So I found through meditating, you quiet down that little monkey animal brain, and you increase the brain that makes you human. And starting to do different things like that, and purposely putting myself through tasks that requires patience, like reading a book, doing certain things. And I think in doing that and removing all the distractions, I was able to be like, yo, I think I know what I want out of life now. A lot of times, you know, especially as black people in this country, and this white person, or you know, like black or brown, whatever, we all actually, you poor, we're all in the same boat. We don't get mad on that. At this point, it's just rich and poor, right? So it's like when I started doing that stuff, and I was like, I started realizing my purpose and what I wanted out of life. And in doing that, I was like, bet, okay, game on. I think so. I started coming up with a strategy and coming up with a plan. I remember I ran into some people, and it was just like, wow, so you've been practicing mental health. And I was like, and of course it was white people. White people have a name for everything, right? And I was just like, it's called, I thought I was just talking to God about how to get out of poverty. And then it's like, nah, it's like, it's mental health and da. And I was like, oh, I see how you guys see it now. So just literally working on yourself every day to develop a stronger mentality is mental health. You know what I'm saying? So I just started taking it serious, and I was like, look, God, if you bless me and you make me get out of this situation, I promise you, I'm gonna do right by it, and I'm not gonna, you know, perpetuate the current agenda, which is like, you know, all black people are, I don't know, all we care about is killing each other and outshining the next and doing all this foolishness. Like, I don't even listen to rap music like that anymore because it's disrespectful. Because one, you're talking about how you're gonna take my girl if I'm not looking. 2, if I look at you wrong, you're gonna kill me. But I'm like, damn, bro, maybe I like your shirt, you know? 3, it's not bigging us up. Back then, like, we come from people that used to use music to heal. Right. Music was our way to deal with all our pain and our suffering. And now look at the music that we're listening to. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no reason, it's not a coincidence that the homicide rates amongst us is higher than any other group in America. It's mental health. It's like our mentality is at a poor, there's no health there. So we're just angry at each other, and it's like, and it's just, it's misplaced hate, it's misplaced anger. So, you know, so different things like that started making me realize, yo, like I gotta make sure that I gotta be the black man in his 20s that, you know, kids are looking at like, nah, you could be cool, you could speak properly, you could do this and that without slanging dope. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've came from a terrible environment. I have sold drugs, I have been arrested before, I have that, but Benjamin Franklin said it best, poverty is the mother of all crime, so I didn't do it just to be cool, but when I got out of my situation, I was just like, no, I can't perpetuate this. Like, I was rapping first, but I'm like, bro, I'm not rapping no more. Like, I'm destroying the mentality of the people that look up to me. Like, I'm just telling them how to just have sex with a bunch of girls. And like, that's gonna get you somewhere? No, that's not gonna get you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So, in doing that and seeing, you know, where we're lacking, and one of the saddest things I realized, so whenever Europeans especially, they meet, you know, brothers like ourselves, they have this preconceived notion of us based off of media. So in interviews, so when for instance, no disrespect to Lil Baby and none of my peers, whatever, but when they're talking in an interview, they're like, hey, so what do you think about James Baldwin? Who that is? Like, I mean, I don't know, like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, It's like, they're just like, wow, my God, these kids are just like idiots.
Right, yeah.
That's not the truth. They're choosing the right one to ask these questions. Because you guys can answer these questions, but they're choosing the right ones to put in a certain position and make them be seen in front of millions of people, and they're just like, yeah, we don't deserve this. And that's why when the police brutality is happening, they're just like, well, look what they already did. Look how they talk, look how they this. It's like, bro, that's not the case. So I just made a vow to myself and God for putting me in this position that it's like, I can't perpetuate that because it's not the reality. It's like, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, W.E.B. Du Bois, all these guys, they laid their lives down for us to be in a situation today. And I be telling a lot of my peers, like, yo, bro, like, if these guys were to resurrect right now, would they be happy with what you're doing? Like, they literally died for you. They wanted to see a dream that they knew they was never gonna live. And we're living it. And we just TikTok and moving our hips all day long. You know what I'm saying? And they're just like, and men just doing the craziness and foolishness. So, I say that not to sound like a tyrant or something, or someone that's just like mad at the world, but I just think that we gotta hold ourselves accountable and start reprogramming our minds. So mental health is just deeper than, because the truth is, it's like, whatever you put in your brain, like, it's gonna manifest itself. Like, you're a sum total of all your thoughts. And the reason why a lot of people, they suffer serious mental health issues is because it's a lack of purpose. But once you have a purpose, that overrides everything. Right. It's like when you're in a football game, hate to use football, but I'm gonna use it right now, right? Again, if you're in a football game and something was to happen to your pinky, you was to break your pinky. Because you're trying to win this championship game, you don't even feel your pinky right now. That adrenaline overrides all that. That purpose overrides that pain. So it's just like, but if you don't have that, you can hurt your pinky in the house and you just watching TV, you don't feel it. But when you got purpose and you're doing something, it's like certain things your body don't even make time for until you're chilling, and then you can finally feel it. And I just think because of the lack of purpose, due to the distractions in our lives, we're not programming our minds properly. Therefore, mental health issues is a side effect of that. It's the byproduct of a human being not being programmed properly. We do not know how to manage our biochemistry without the proper physical activity. Back then, you take thousands and thousands of years ago, if me and him are brothers, we're gonna wake up, we're like, yo, our family need 30 buckets of water. So let's go down to the river, we're gonna go to the river, we're gonna grab these buckets. And the river's probably 15 miles away. We're doing that. The minute the sun comes up, 7 a.m., boom, we're working. And until it sets, boom, we're working, we don't even have time to utter the words, bitches ain't shit. And then the girls, and the women, the beautiful, great women are busy doing their stuff, agriculture, whatever, raising the kids, which is the hardest job in the world. There's no price tag put on taking care of that stuff. They don't have time to utter the words niggas ain't shit. They're so busy and exhausted that it's like you don't have time to get involved in that. But like when you do all your homework and everything is done and you just have time to just bother your body, bother yourself, it's like, yo, your brain is gonna destroy itself. Because it's like we're task oriented human like creatures. We need a task. And I just saw there was such a lack of that in our community, and that's what made me just start to go ham. Like I can't be proud of myself and happy with myself knowing that I was fortunate enough to have access to certain knowledge, and like I'm not gonna pass it forward. So that's kind of like the gist of it, And if you have any questions or whatever, you can. I'm sure that you start talking and just having a conversation.